Good morning. This is Janet West with the Kiowa County Media Center, and we're out here in front of the Kiowa County Commons building with Senator Jerry Moran, who's on a walking tour this morning in Greensburg, Kansas. Welcome, Jerry.
Janet, great to be with you. Great to be back in Greensburg and in Kiowa County. This is my 98th town hall meeting for 2011. There are 105 counties in Kansas, and this one is a little bit different. Rather than having that meeting spot in which everybody comes to me, I'm going to them. And so I've been walking Main Street in and out of businesses, out of the courthouse, City Hall, and having a conversation. And great to be back in Greensburg, seeing what has transpired since the tornado.
A lot has transpired. So what are you seeing while you're here in Greensburg?
Well, I hadn't been in the courthouse since the morning after the tornado, in which water was dripping on my head. The courthouse is gorgeous and beautiful and looks so functional. City Hall is an amazing thing. And here at the Media Center, what a development. Certainly pleased to see the extension folks here and what they do in a community and county. The library, I'm a fan of libraries, and so to see the library, but to know the technology, the capabilities that are here in Greensburg, rural America, because of this media center is just one of those things that cause you to say, wow, this is great stuff that's happening, and all the potential. And one of the things that strikes me is I've met a number of people who have now live in Greensburg that didn't live in Greensburg before the tornado, but they found us. And the kinds of things that are happening here, in my view, create that quality of life, that environment in which young folks from around the country, from around Kansas, can call Greensburg home.
We like to hear that. That's what we're after. Now, have you been down to the business sector yet?
I've got kind of sidetracked with all the things that I've seen this morning, so we'll be back up and down Main Street. I would say that there's a message that needs to be delivered to Washington, D.C. just from my visit here. It's a reminder that through many challenges, just like we face tremendous challenges in Washington, D.C., and there's differences of opinions, different ways of doing things, disagreement, different beliefs and philosophies, different values about how to do things. As you see in Greensburg, all those differences, they're not set aside, but they're resolved in a way that's good for the community. And that seems to me to be what's missing from our nation's capital, is that ability, that sense of goodwill, the desire to get something accomplished. And so my visit here before I return to Washington, D.C. this week is just this reminder that we need to work together for the good of the community. There's also a reminder that while what happens in Washington, D.C. is important, it matters, we really do change the world one person, one community, one soul at a time. And it's happened here in Greensburg day after day as progress is made, as a community comes together. It's people caring about people.
Let me take you back to the federal government for just a little while, because, of course, this is a kind of an exciting year. Things are going on with elections and with plans for stimulating the economy and so forth. What would you say is our greatest challenge and perhaps our greatest reward coming from this Congress?
Well, I think the message of the last election, among other things, but front and center, was jobs, the economy, employment. And in my view, we've got to do a number of things to get people back to work, to grow the economy. We've been in a little bit better circumstance here in Kansas. We certainly need rain. Agriculture, the commodity prices have been better than usual, but we've been unable in many instances to grow much of a crop because of lack of moisture. But our circumstances here are like they are in many places across the country. We need, first, the government needs to rein in its spending. We can't continue to borrow. That's a drag upon the economy. It has consequences across the nation, as we have to restore the confidence that government gets it, that you can't borrow 40 cents of every dollar forever. But beyond that, job creation is about a tax, and particularly a regulatory environment that tells a business person, an entrepreneur, now is the time to take a risk and start a business, add plant and equipment, hire an employee. Healthcare costs are unknown. The healthcare reform bill, people are still trying to figure out what it means to them and their business. We need an energy policy that not only do we have conservation like we see highlighted in Greensburg, but that promotes oil and gas production, development of our own resources, renewable energy. There are so many things I think that we could do. Trade, those of us who are so interested in farmers and ranchers, 98% of the mouths to feed are outside the United States. Exports matter to us. So we need a Congress and a president that can come together and put policies in place, not that government is going to create the job, not that we're going to add more people to the government payroll, but that we're going to create an environment in which a business person can say, I'm ready to hire somebody. The future is such that it's time for me to expand my business and put people to work.
We'd certainly like to do that right here in Greensburg, Kansas. Is there anything that we can do locally to help further business and the economy of Kansas?
Well, I know that at least there's some potential announcements of good news yet to come in Kiowa County. It is important, the things that you're doing here. We've talked about the new facilities, the media center, the technology, the ability to connect with the rest of the world. I also would add to that education matters. And I'm always a believer that a community that has the best educated, the most highly motivated, the best trained individuals will attract businesses to come to their community. They're looking for people who know how to work, who have a work ethic, who have the right values, but also who are adequately educated and trained. And we need to make sure in Kansas that we continue to promote quality education in communities across our state, including here in Kiowa County.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you being with us this morning.
Good to be with you.
This is Janet West with the Kiowa County Media Center here at the Kiowa County Commons in Greensburg, Kansas.